AITAH for going no contact with my adult children after divorce. I am 52, recently finalized my no-fault divorce from my wife, F54, after 26 years of marriage. I can answer questions about the marriage if you feel it is relevant, but I filed for divorce after COVID showed me just how unhappy both of us were with each other. I left the house and have never returned except to retrieve my belongings. My ex-wife received a paid-off house with enough money to reasonably last for the rest of her life. The kids have their college education paid for in a 529 plan that I fully funded, and as part of the divorce decree I left them a small trust to help get them independent. They will not be able to live off of this. I left with cash and semi-liquid assets in a 40/60 ex-wife split, but I'm fine with that. Post-divorce, I am dating an amazing woman and am much happier. Family and mutual friends who have seen my ex-wife post-separation describe her as angry and bitter. I have no ill feelings towards my ex-wife and hope she finds happiness. She doesn't talk to me, but if she told me she remarried, I'd congratulate her and wish them well. One thing that happened during the very lengthy and drawn-out divorce proceedings was that my relationship with my adult children, son 20 and daughter 24, deteriorated. Our son was still staying at home going to a community college part-time. Our daughter moved back into the home about a year after the divorce was filed and is now going to community college part-time with her brother. Before the divorce proceedings, I would have said that my relationship with my children was good, or at least cordial on the surface. This whole experience has left me wondering if that was true. I don't know. Our children have called both of us toxic and narcissists, more so on their mother's part, but I don't believe either to be true. I can objectively say that we gave our children a better environment than either of us had when we grew up. My last conversation with the children was during the trial, and they said things that just blew my mind. When I texted my son to take them out for lunch, he was hesitant, and when I probed what was going on, he laid into me. He told me that he didn't respect me as a father or a man because we put him into an autism spectrum development program at school, which we both felt was a godsend, said that I mutilated him because I had him circumcised, as I and my father and assumably grandfather were, and he finished his text with a death threat saying if he saw me he'd kill me with his own hands. On a prior phone conversation with my daughter, she said, mockingly, "Ha, ha, ha, you didn't sign a prenup. I hope mom takes everything from you, including your very nice sports car." First of all, her mom and I met as students, so a prenup didn't make sense. Secondly, she was already getting a more than equitable share of a no-fault divorce settlement, but more importantly, I was disappointed for our daughter to take sides and say something so unnecessarily stupid. I do think there was some element of my ex-wife turning my adult children against me because our son said, "Mom told me what you did," and our daughter told me, "Mom told me that you are blowing my inheritance just like your father, who worked as a blue-collar worker and is still alive, blew yours." My children have both made multiple comments in the past that their life plan was waiting for me to die to get their inheritance. I retired from a very successful career at 49 and have health problems. I am obviously a bit hurt that my children would say such nasty things to me, and I'm extremely disappointed for them to take sides. I was 14 when my parents had a divorce, and I knew their divorce had nothing to do with me. I also never took sides, and I would never imagine speaking to either of my parents the way my children spoke to me. Coming up to Christmas, I had to make a decision whether I should text them and say Merry Christmas, but I felt this was disingenuous on my part because I wasn't feeling it, and there was one of two outcomes. If I did text them, they ignore it and don't respond, likely, or they make some curt response back, leaving the relationship in the current state. Either way, I don't think there would be any apologies or attempts at reconciliation. Therefore, I didn't text them at all, and I'm on the verge of just going no contact as they have let me know their true feelings about me. If they want to reach out, they can make that move, but I will view their motivations with suspicion given their comments about getting inheritance. AITAH for going no contact with my adult children after they told me how nastily they feel about me. Please forgive the long post. I felt it important to give the nuance of what was happening so you can make a fair assessment. Edit. Thank you for the thoughtful comments, especially those critical of me. Some said that I'm withholding information. I didn't want to make this post too long, but here are some frank answers to the questions below that might help paint a more accurate picture of what happened. There are several personally identifying details I'm leaving out, such as my ex has several public news articles, not divorce or career related, that would paint her in a poor light. Also, the next door threads about my ex were long. Some remarked that the use of the word cordial as an odd way to describe the relationship with my adult children. I meant that as in the definition being warm, friendly, pleasant, fond, affectionate. Some asked if I was a present father. I love working, worked long hours, and was accomplished in my field enough to retire early. I always came home every night and never turned my kids away from me if they wanted to talk, needed help, or to do something. However, in all honesty, I would be an accurate picture of a father who was absorbed with work. That said, neither of my children participated in any extramural clubs or sports, so it was hard to engage in their activities in a way that I knew how. I would have loved for them to have a hobby, but they never did. For the interests they did have, I took them to guitar lessons, for example. They seemed to drop them very early without really trying hard. Helpful_hour 1984, thank you for all of your questions, pointed out that some parents use their own sh*tty childhood as an excuse for toxic behavior. The relationship my ex and I had was very respectful, going both ways. She was well respected in her field as well. We had a full-time nanny. Neither my ex nor I would call our upbringing sh*tty. Neither of us are yelling/angry sort of people. I am far from controlling of anyone, and I think it is fair to say I'm very supportive of anything anyone wants to do, wife, kids, employees, etc. Once again, thank you for all your comments. Please feel free to ask any questions. AITAH because I blocked my daughter from being able to contact me? I, 53F, adopted my 20F and her brother, 19M, almost 11 years ago as a single parent, widowed. Their biological parents had their rights terminated by the state for neglect and abuse. I know that I wasn't the perfect parent, but I did the best with what I knew at the time. A few years ago, I returned to school earning my BS in psychology and am earning my MSW. Every single night for at least 6 months after they moved in, my son would ask me to tuck him in. I would tell him every single time that I loved him. He usually responded with some form of "I hate you, you're not my mother," or "I don't want to live here." Every single time, I would tell him that he didn't have to love me, or even like me, just as long as he knows that I love him and am so happy that he's living with me / in my life / a part of this family. I meant it then, and I still feel that way for both of my children. My daughter and I had a great relationship. We did have a few typical mother-daughter disagreements. Even one huge time, she said that she wished that I had died with my husband. She asked me why I still kept her in my home and could still love me. I told her that she's family, she's my daughter, and you take the good with the bad. I love her unconditionally, accept her for exactly who she is, and would never toss her out. I 100% mean that for them both. Due to the childhood adverse experiences, my daughter has insecure attachment issues. She had a long-term boyfriend that she was living with, and he broke off the relationship and asked her to move out. Twice. She realized that she needed a particular form of therapy because she also realized that she has an adult mental disorder from her childhood trauma. She started going to therapy. That is until she met a new guy, 21M, and has been dating him for less than 3 months. The absolute only and first things that she has told me about him was he has a hand tattoo, her, my son, and I all have multiple tattoos, so that was a non-issue. He used to have a cocaine habit until his friend passed out and died when they were using together. His parents fired him from the family business, and that he would frequently throw food wrappers on her bedroom floor. Triangular flag, triangular flag, triangular flag. After dating him for less than a month, she stopped all of her therapy, even admitting that she knows her toxic behaviors are returning. I work, full-time and part-time, and go to school for my master's degree. The weekends are spent on my schoolwork, cleaning my home, and then relaxing. 3 weeks ago, she said that he was coming over for the day. I asked if she could hang out with him elsewhere. She blew up at me. She pays no rent nor pays any of the bills, except her car insurance and a portion of her phone bill. She said, "This is my home too, you're not my mother," twice, and then "Screw you, with the gesture to go with it, before leaving and bringing him back with her a few hours later. This past weekend, she asked if he could spend the night. I said no, I'm not comfortable with that. She responded, "Why?" "I'm not mad, I'm curious." I responded that me simply saying that I'm not comfortable should be reason enough. Again, she went off on me. She told me that I'm pushing her away by, basically, not liking him. She moved her belongings out the next day to live with her brother and his GF, without speaking to me at all except to say that I've caused her to not want a relationship with me. She left any sentimental gifts I gave her and food wrappers on the floor. The sentiment was not lost on me. I blocked her from being able to contact me. I know if there is an emergency she can use my son's phone to call or have him call me. I had to block her because I need to protect my own mental health. I cannot allow her to treat me the way that she has been since meeting her BF. Now, I'm questioning if AITAH because she does have attachment issues and maybe I should put her mental health before mine? Edit/update, I decided to send this to her. I have contemplated so much about how to let you know how I feel. But, I'm not sure that you would even be open to a discussion. I really truly am okay with that. The adoption was not for me to have children that love me. It was to have children that deserve to be loved and could experience being loved. I have always said that you do not have to love me or even like me, just know that I love you. And I do. I have always loved you and I will continue to love you until the day I die, whether you are in my life or not. And I will probably love you beyond death too, but at that time you will not have any say if I love you from afar or watch over your every move. Rolling on the floor laughing ghost, I do not think that this is the right time to discuss my thoughts or feelings about your relationships with anyone but me. With that being said, I am sad that you are not currently in my life. If I'm being 100% honest, I'm more than just sad. One thing that came out in EMDR is that you walking out has left me with the exact same feelings as the moment I was told Chris died. I am devastated. But, I have also said in the past that if this is what you think is best, then I have so much love and respect for you that I will honor your wishes. I have not closed off all forms of contact with you in the hopes that you may reach out. I don't know if you have not had a desire to contact me, FB, Insta, email, wanted time to process things, or were afraid that I would not be receptive of it. So, this is me letting you know that I'm still here. And, I will always be available for you. I just had to block you from being able to call and text me directly because I had to protect my own mental health. The text exchange between us on Saturday caused me so much pain, my entire body could feel it. So, I wanted to protect myself from feeling that way if I saw a text from you. Even though I have said that I will always be here for you, I know that you have reason to doubt it. Too many people that came into your life has left you. I can only image how you may be feeling now because you think that I am to blame for you moving out. I can tell you a million times that I absolutely love you unconditionally, but you may not believe it because so many people have let you down in the past. I also suspect that you may not believe those words when the very people that said them to you in your childhood were the very same people that hurt you. I am sure that being told that you are loved and feeling it do not always bring you happiness. While I do love you unconditionally, I still have to set some boundaries up. We have had a discussion recently about setting boundaries with other people. I decided to set a boundary with you and be an example of how you hold up boundaries. This is where it becomes very hard and conflicting for me. I want you to know that I do not place all of the blame on you. Because of your past, and because I wanted to avoid hurting you or to be the cause for you to hurt yourself, I never put boundaries in place. I did you a disservice. I allowed and ignored some behaviors that I shouldn't have. And now I have decided that since you are an adult, it is a good time to use boundaries. Boundaries are a good thing, but in hindsight, I think that we both could have handled this situation better. I do apologize if my decision to block your number has caused you any emotional distress. We either get past this, or we don't. It will not diminish the fact that I love you, and it will not be a reason for me not to be here when you need it. I love you more.